Yo, what it is, it's your man Roberto Flack, and there's a couple topics at hand, but before I get to that, we had the Marquez Alvarado fight this past Saturday. I got a chance to see it, and it's crazy. Marquez is a guy, 40 years old, and his skill level is still top notch. Mike Alvarado is, I don't think, world class. He's tough. I kind of put him in the same league as a Brandon Rios. I think Rios is a little better, but I just think in this scenario, Marquez just looked really good for his age, and he managed to drop Alvarado, but Alvarado managed to drop him, and it seems like it's almost a trend in some of Marquez's fights where he gets dropped by guys that you don't think would be able to drop him like that, but he exposes himself sometimes, and we've seen that in a lot of his fights. But over the years he's kind of changed his style up. He's still an incredible counterpuncher, but he'll attack too. And I think a lot of that is attributed to fighting Pacquiao like those 3 and 4 times. It's kind of like he had to prepare himself for a guy like that. And you look at the rest of his fights, and you see a little bit of a change. But again, where does he go from here? Obviously the talk is a Marquez or Pacquiao Marquez 5. It's split down the middle. There's people that are like, all right, enough already, and there's other people that are like, yo, all 4 fights have been great, why not a 5th one? And not since Sugar Ray Robinson and Jake LaMotta when they fought 6 times or something. But I'm kind of on the fence about it. I mean, I kind of think it's gonna happen, but it's almost like, all right, what does either have to prove? Marquez is making it seem like, yo, either you throw me that money, or I'm not gonna fight, or I'll fight on my terms because I knocked him out last, and this, that, and the third. But again, Pacquiao's is and always has been the draw, man. So, Marquez is, I understand his plight, man. I mean, what a way to cement that not even trilogy, but quadrilogy. But I don't know, man. I said the same thing for the 4th fight, and I'm like, all right, enough already. And the 4th fight was more. It was really tense, the entire fight. You're like, wait, it's you almost sense something was gonna happen. But I mean, we'll see. But I mean, that's in a sense a segue to really the title of the video and the news that we got, that Manny Pacquiao has indeed signed his 2-year extension with Top Rank, which will lead into 2016. And right from the jump, people are just kind of in a way at a loss for words, knowing that the whole situation with him and Mayweather fighting is based on some type of demand from Floyd that he doesn't want to work with Arum. And what can you do? I mean, Floyd has said he's his own boss or what have you. Now here's the funny twist. And it's kind of ironic that this is all happening during what I think may be something beneficial down the road is these meetings, or these couple meetings that Bob Arum has had with Oscar De La Hoya, as well as Todd DeBuff, who is I believe the vice president. And it's almost seeming like they're trying to make amends and start to work together. You know what I mean? Because when you look at who Top Rank has to offer Manny, even at 140 or 147, because they've been hinting that he may go back to 140, but there's not a lot that Top Rank has to offer to make a big fight. You know what I mean? So when you look over at Golden Boy, things change a little bit. But then here's the issue. Richard Schaefer doesn't seem to be on board with the whole patching things up type of deal that Oscar and Bob Arum are trying to do. And it's clearly obvious that Richard Schaefer works with Al Heyman closely with a lot of these fighters, and if you're seeing all these fighters that are signing with Al Heyman, I'm not 100% sure like which one of these fighters isn't or is signed to Golden Boy. I mean, most of them are at some length, or they've been or they've left another promoter and they signed like to Golden Boy, and to me it seems like a lot of the Golden Boy fighters have Al Heyman contracts. Now, how that works into a scenario where, like, let's say Richard Schaefer leaves, I mean, is it kind of like a gift and a curse? Because, you know, Richard Schaefer has been doing a good job, you know, as far as, you know, holding the fort down while Oscar De La Hoya was dealing with his personal issues. So, you know, you got to give him daps to that. But, like, there's clearly a rift, you know, like, I don't think they're at a point now where they can really hide it. You know what I mean? Oscar could put that smiley face on and the whole nine, but, you know, Bob Arum's talking shit about, like, how Richard Schaefer's trying to, you know, suck the well dryer, like how they say, out of Golden Boy and pretty much just take it over. But and it seems as if like that's how Oscar De La Hoya is coming about it. Now, you know, back to the whole Manny Pacquiao point. Again, like, they've thrown the idea of Pacquiao and Canelo. I don't think that's an ideal fight, but I mean, I'm thinking off the top, like, Broner versus Pacquiao, or Rios versus Danny Garcia, Abner Mares versus Nonito Donaire, a fight that we've been wanting to see. I mean, there's a list of fights that they can make between Golden Boy and Top Rank. It's really, I just don't think it's going to be an overnight thing. So at face value, Pacquiao signing with Top Rank at least immediately puts him in a fight, I believe, with Marquez. So I'll you know, I guess we'll see what happens with that. But yes, he signed a 2-year extension until 2016. Now, to other news, the CEO of Mayweather Promotions himself, Leonard Ellerby, has announced that September 13th is the return date for Floyd Mayweather. No opponent has been announced, no venue has been announced, though it's likely to be at the MGM Grand, because I don't think he would be fighting anywhere else. He's been fighting there for like around like 8 years already. So there's the options of Marcos Maidana, you know, the rematch, and, you know, they've been talking about the Mir Khan fight, but he's already excluded himself out because of the Ramadan, and, you know, he's not going to be fighting during that time. So if you look at the list that Golden Boy has, there's not a lot to choose from in a sense to make a big event, because one of the stories as well that's coming out, and if, you know, some of you have noticed, we haven't gotten official numbers from the Mayweather-Maidana fight, which tells me that the fight itself, the pay-per-view card, didn't sell a lot of, or at least didn't hit the expectations. Because with Floyd Mayweather, you know, you're thinking 1 million buys at least, and there's a lot of reports coming out saying it was like 850,000, around 800,000, but like the number that a lot of as far as the reports that are coming out is 850,000. And as far as Pacquiao and Bradley, that did, I think, like 100,000 less. So and here's the crazy part, you know, not to get off topic yet, but, you know, since Floyd has been on Showtime, you know, he signed this Showtime deal, he's getting these guarantees, these crazy guarantees, but he's not producing the numbers in a way, as far as on a consistent basis, like he did on HBO. Because, I mean, and it further it lets me know, and like I've always known anyway, is like, you need a solid B-side opponent, man. I mean, even back in the day, like fights, you know, Leonard versus Duran was a marquee fight. It was a two superstars, you know what I'm saying? Hearns versus Leonard. That was two superstar fighters at the time. I mean, Floyd fighting guys like Robert Guerrero and Marcos Maidana, who, like, I think in a sense made a name from him, you know, from himself off of Floyd Mayweather, which a lot of fighters really don't. I mean, that was a misconception, I think, with a lot of people, that, you know, Floyd made these fighters better and shit. I mean, that's not like totally true, as far as what they did after they fought Floyd. But I think with Floyd now in this predicament where he sold a 2.2 million with Canelo. The Robert Guerrero fight was rumored to be like around like the 800 some odd K pay-per-view sold, and the Maidana fight seems like it's kind of the same thing, 850. So it's kind of weird in a way where they were calling Floyd the lottery ticket, but when you look at like what Maidana made for this fight, I think he only made like 1.5, and in general, like, Floyd gets these guarantees of like $32-33 million, and the whole purse I think is like 40. So like the whole entire card shares the rest of the remainder of that purse. And I'm thinking, like, how is Showtime making a profit off of this? off of these? I mean, like, if they were hitting like the 1.4, 1.5 million pay-per-view buys, I could see like, okay, like they're making money off of these pay-per-views now. But like, for the guarantees that they're giving Floyd, man, it's crazy. It's kind of crazy. But I mean, I don't know, we'll see what happens as far as who he's gonna fight. I think it's gonna be Marcos Maidana. I mean, I don't see what other fight they can really sell the public besides a Pacquiao fight. I mean, and it's gonna be very strange, man. This whole, like I said, this whole situation with top ranking Golden Boy and you know, Floyd seems to be like a Floyd Mayweather fighter, and he works with Schaefer and Al Heyman. But you know, it's gonna get interesting in a way, like if Schaefer leaves, because it's like, who you gonna outsource to? You know, he shits on Oscar, but Floyd has been outsourcing to Golden Boy since 2007. So are you telling me that like he's gonna like just start financing all the promotion and all that shit? That's why he hires Golden Boy, man. That's why they get a cut. But things are gonna get very interesting, yo. I would say like in the next 6 months to a year, where this whole Cold War stands. But September 13th, Floyd Mayweather's next date, and we'll find out real soon, I assume, who the opponent's gonna be. My money is Marcos Maidana rematch. So that's pretty much it. Stay tuned. Next, I am going to be giving my prediction for Cotto versus Martinez. It's coming up a few weeks, June 7th. You know, I can't wait for that. And like I always say, subscribe, hit the links, and I will be back soon.